Hey everyone, first off, I want to thank all of my new subscribers. I've posted about 5 videos in the last maybe month and a half or so, and I've added an extra 100 or so, maybe more than 100 subscribers. So it's been a huge jump in engagement overall. And before my last uploads, my last video was like 3 years ago. So again, huge thanks to those who stuck around. And to everybody visiting for the first time, please subscribe if you like the content. All the comments and feedback and all the likes have been really great. Obviously, there is an audience for the Fold 7. Obviously, something I'm doing is relatable to those watching. So I really do appreciate it. Side note, be on the lookout for the iPhone 17 Pro impressions and review. I've had a chance to kind of play with it for the last couple of weeks or so. So I'm sort of gathering my thoughts, and I want to give my honest feedback on the phone. I definitely plan to test it for way more than just like a week or even a month. I really want to integrate myself with the new iOS 26 and see where the bugs are still happening so that I can sort of relay that message over to you. So in the last couple of videos, I've had a few people reach out and ask how I got my home screen to look the way that it does. So for context, I've used Nova as my default launcher for years. Every time I get a new Samsung or Google phone, it's been one of the first things that I do as soon as I start setting it up. Whether it was increasing my icon layout or adding, some kind of a quality of life gesture, it was always very reliable. And once I got word that they were winding it down and putting it to bed, I was kind of bummed. But that also gave me a chance to sort of explore Samsung's native UI for the first time in a really long time. And when I got the Fold 7, it was a really sleek new device that I wanted to give the UI a fresh and unique aesthetic. I forgot exactly how I found this app, but I might have Googled ways to tweak my icons. And I found this app called M3 Expressive in the Play Store. Now, it's not free, but I think it's absolutely worth it considering the wide variety of icons and widgets they provide. Now, obviously, I haven't tried every single one because there's so many to choose from. There's so many you can add. But what I want to do in this video is kind of give a quick rundown, and then hopefully from there you can kind of choose which one you want to play with. It could probably take you hours to do that, but hopefully that'll give you a good idea of what you can add to your home screen. Let's go to my desk and let's talk about it. All right, I'll start off with my home screen setup first, which is what everybody has been asking questions about. Then I'll get a little bit more granular once I get into the app itself. So in the top left, I have the clock and the Google Photos app. Now, while there's a good amount of widgets within Expressive, they don't offer widgets for everything. So it's nice to be able to combine Expressive widgets with stock and app-specific widgets for stacked groups, sort of like this, and what you'll see below as well. Underneath that is my largest stack, which has a Google Calendar. Now that's clickable and it takes you to the Google Calendar monthly view, which is nice. And then the quotes, which you can just simply swap out by tapping on it. Now I have the ability to add as many quotes as I want, and I can cycle through them as often as 30 minutes or 24 hours. So you can either tap them to swipe through to the next quote, or you can just wait 30 minutes, or every time you'll come back to the phone and see it, it'll have a different quote, which is nice. But if you want to change the quote, you just click that icon up there. And as I said, you can switch them between 30 minutes and 24 hours, which is nice. Or you can sort them alphabetically. Now to add a quote, you just tap the plus icon. And then from there, you can add your quote or affirmation and the author if you want. Now, these quotes I added through time, just, reading personal growth books or listening to podcasts, and seeing these quotes sort of helped me stay focused and motivated on my goals, and it's sort of encouraging to see them from time to time. And after that, I added a Google search widget, which I wanted just for any time I need to search for anything super quick. Nothing too special there. And then I have my ChatGPT widget. Now, sometimes I need assistance writing an email, and ChatGPT has helped me through many of these, many times. And I like this widget a lot because it does have quick access buttons within the layout. And another AI-based widget that I have is Gemini. which I use quite a lot as well when I have questions just about anything or how to do something. This also has a good variety of quick access buttons. And then I added a standard One UI weather widget. Now the M3 Expressive app does have a weather widget, but I found the temperature to not be as consistent with the default weather widget. So I trust the default weather widget a little bit more. I'm not really sure what source the info is being pulled from the M3 Expressive widget. You'd think that the numbers would be more similar, but usually it's off by like 4 or 5 degrees, which I think is a big enough difference to sort of run with the default weather widget. Before going into the app icons, right here, we have the photo grid widget on the top right. Now this is kind of neat because I can switch the photos out whenever I want to. Now if I click the heart in the middle, you can see that I have my family photos right in there. Now you can switch them to all black and white if you like, or it's pretty simple and straightforward. If you want to switch the top left, it's right here, top right, the bottom left and the bottom right. These probably could have been worded better, but you get it. So it's pretty simple. You just tap and then you select a photo from your gallery. Now under that, I have just a standard One UI upcoming event widget. And I kind of just like having a quick look at what my day, what's next in my day versus the Google Calendar event task list below it. This just helps me see things from a magnified view, but it's nice to also see what's happening in the day and a half below it. And it just helps me stay in line and prepped for what's going on. So now for the icons. So these are the icons here. I had to sort of be intentional with the apps I was going to have here. M3 Expressive doesn't offer too many apps with the custom icons. What is nice though is you can change the shape of the icon, which is cool. So if you just click that, long press that, you go into settings. Let me zoom out just a little bit. You go into settings. From here, you have a selection, I don't know, 13 or 14 or so, about 13 icons, 13 different shapes, excuse me, that you can choose from. Again, it gives your home screen sort of that playful Google Pixel look. Now moving to the dock, unfortunately, I'm unable to apply the themed icons from M3 Expressive, but what I did instead was use the next best thing that I could use, which is Samsung stock theming. Via Wallpaper and Style, and then you go into color palette. You guys probably already know this, but then I just toggle that on, the apply palette to app icons. You can do it without it, but it just doesn't look as good, doesn't feel cohesive. So I'm gonna go ahead and just set that back, apply. At least the colors somewhat have some sort of a similarity now. Now it just feels like all uniform, which I like. So now let's go into the app itself. So I have it queued up right here. You click into it. M3 Expressive Widgets is the title. And here is sort of a menu to get through all of the widgets. Now there's a lot. Now it ranges between, newly added, apps, battery. There's some calendar stuff in there, compass, contacts. Mind you, I'm not sponsored at all. I wasn't reached out to by the developers of this app. I just really like this app. It definitely gives you that Google Pixel look. Adds a little bit more fun to your UI versus Samsung's more business-like, more serious look and aesthetic. But you have folders, AI shortcuts, music widgets. You have notes and lists, pedometer, personalization, Google and search, screen time, weather, and then you have other. So let's just go through some of these. So here are some newly added ones. So you have things like battery, digital clock. You have contacts so that you can call maybe your loved one really quickly. But again, it's got that really clean Google-esque aesthetic. Let me see if I can get that to focus. And then we have apps. Now, I mentioned earlier that they didn't have a themed app for every single application, or a themed icon for every application, I'm sorry. So these are sort of the, I guess you could say, short list of what they do have there, and that's about it. So it goes from A to Y pretty quickly. But again, that's why I sort of had to be intentional with the apps that I chose. There's a small workaround. It's not perfect, but if you do go to, I think it's personalization. Let's go to personalization. Is it personalization? It's not personalization. It is other. No. Wait, let me look for it. I know it's real time, but let's just do it. Custom app. Here we go. So with this one, you can sort of assign an icon or emoji to an app that isn't supplied here. So let's say custom app, right? You go add. So it gives you that notification that it's been added to your home screen. Now you have something here. So if you tap it, you can now select custom icons. Now these are sort of the one color icons that match what you have on the home screen, what I have on there. You can select a background shape, or you can select a photo or emoji, of course. And then you can select which app to launch. So you can sort of assign an app to a certain icon, which is kind of cool. But again, it's, not every icon here is going to match what you're trying to do. Like, let's say if we do Airbnb, you could probably use a house or something, if we can find that. I think there is one. I guess maybe not. No, it's right there. Boom. So you can assign a house icon to Airbnb, so that could potentially work. Boom. So there, you have that. Now it looks like home, but at least it matches the icons on my home screen. So there you have it. Boom. Perfect. See? And now let's jump back in. And here are some battery widgets as well. So you have a variety of different styles. Again, I think it's meant to mimic Google's user interface, which I like. And then you have different calendar icons. Widgets, sorry. You could spend hours really tweaking the look of your home screen. So there you can see the digital clock that I chose. Compass, contacts. So let's say you have a loved one, boyfriend, girlfriend, and you want some quick access buttons to go along with the photo of your person. Boom, right there. So of course you can select who you'd like to assign, and then you can of course message them, call them through maybe WhatsApp, or call them directly, which is kind of nice. So here's earbuds and watch, folders. Now this is kind of neat. This kind of reminds me of OnePlus's approach to folders and icons, where if you want to have multiple icons on your home screen and you can click directly into the app, you can sort of group them together in different shapes here. So that kind of works, and it fits within the grid, which is kind of nice. I don't really care for it too much, just because it adds a little bit of clutter, and I don't want too much clutter on my home screen, but it is a nice feature to have. There's games. Now this is kind of neat. If you guys remember the Nokia days, they had the snake game. I have tried it. It's pretty fun, but they do have that. Don't forget to install the snake controller as well. It doesn't feel the same, of course, as tactile buttons, but it is still pretty nice to have. Then you have tic-tac-toe, which you can only play against the computer, and I still have yet to win, but I'll tie many times. And then you have the Chrome Dino game. And then music, I have Spotify, so these are pretty neat to have. I've tried them, don't really care too much for it, but they're nice. I don't listen to music enough to where I need to have or feel the desire to have one of these widgets on my home screen, but it is there if you want it. You have photos. Let's say you want to feature any photos. You can do that as well, and they all come in different shapes. So again, this one's pretty neat. Quick settings. So if you wanted to sort of surface one of the quick settings onto your home screen, you can do that as well. Flashlight, if you want that. There's hotspot. That might be a useful one to have. Vibrate. Again, though, I have mine through here. And by the way, I use one hand one-handed operation. I believe it's good. It's a good lock mod. I definitely prefer that. Anyways, we have more quotes. This is the one that I use. And screen time. I don't need to be reminded how long I'm on my phone, so I don't turn that on. I don't use that. And then of course the weather stuff. I might be wrong with all the weather, calibration that happens within wherever they're getting the source of the temperature. But for me, even though I love the look of these and they all look like Google Pixel's aesthetic and their UI, I love it. I just, for some reason, there's a discrepancy between this and the stock weather app. So I sort of decided to use the stock weather app instead. And then I wanted to show you wallpapers. So some people were asking about wallpapers. Well, I get them from here as well. So this is just a huge variety of really nice high resolution wallpapers. So you have all the different genres here, from blur to abstract. Again, I think some of these are also Google Pixel related. I remember some of them. See? Pretty cool stuff. They sort of have like a dark and light mode on this one. They have stock. I'm sorry. Glass. So this is again kind of like OnePlus. Landscape. And then of course they have gradients, really nice soft gradients. Again, these are high resolution. So anything you choose here, you just have a lot to choose from. Here's cartoon. And I'm not sure if they continually update these. I haven't been using this app long enough to know if some get added or some get removed. But again, you just have a really huge kind of field to play with here. Patterns. And then here's the last menu that I want to talk about, is settings. So the only ones I really mess with here is, I wouldn't mess with this, the padding. I would just keep it the way it is by default. But one thing I wanted to sort of highlight here was the tap action configuration. So within here, you can sort of, you can open up specific apps to, now with here, you can sort of assign, you can, like kind of what it says here, where it says you can configure what happens when you tap on a different widget type. So depending on what widget you have, you can sort of assign, let's say you have the calendar widget, you can assign it to open up either Samsung's stock calendar or Google stock calendar. So you just take your pick. And again, that works with clock, calendar, calculator. There's different calculators you can have. So what's nice is that you can sort of assign what app you want to use. Let's say you like using a third party, you can do that. There's a weather widget configuration and TikTok. I don't use TikTok. So that's it. I hope this walkthrough helped. And also answered some of the questions that you had on my home screen. If you have any additional questions, just let me know in the comments. I plan to give more extensive thoughts and feedback on the iPhone 17 Pro. I am using that. Let me go grab that right here. So I have been using it. It's not bad. Camera is really good. There is something that I have to note though. And I'm gonna probably go into it more in depth when I get there. But I'm gonna test that some more and then report back to you guys with my findings in the upcoming weeks. So a like and subscribe would be great, and I'll see you in the next video.